everybody, I'm Gilly and welcome to the first edition of the Evexia Effect. I'm the founder of Evexia, which is a small wellness business based on the wonderful Greek island of Greece. So just before we get started with our wonderful first guest, I'm just going to give you a bit of background about Evexia and why we're going to do the Evexia Effect podcast. So Evexia is the Greek word meaning wellness or well-being. We aspire to create as many wellness and well-being opportunities for people that live on the island and people that are visiting the island. I personally started off as a fitness instructor and Pilates instructor. I now host classes on the beach, retreats, lots of other different things, and we're helping other people host retreats, and now we're trying to build a community where we get to know what's going on around the island, anything wellness, and basically spread the wellness love. Okay, so our first guest today is Isabel, who is a breathwork facilitator, and she has this nice little thing going called Floating Within. So we're going to get to know about Isabel, why she's on our wonderful island, what she's offering, and why breathwork is so incredible. Personally, I think breathwork is amazing. We'll talk about the retreat that we're going to do towards the end of the summer, but that's exciting things to think about and talk about. But welcome, Isabel. Thank you for joining me today.
Hi, Gilly. Thank you so much for the invitation, for having me. Super excited to be here.
We're excited to have you. We think that breathwork is absolutely amazing. So the more we can spread the word of breathwork around and the healing properties that it has is incredible. So what we want to know is a bit about your journey with breathwork. How have you come to become a breathwork facilitator?
Of course. So first of all, you've already mentioned it. I'm a breathwork facilitator under the bubble, floating within. And that's also actually where the journey has started for me. Floating within means the feeling that I get, that I have, that I aspire to have when practicing breathwork. So this is actually where it all has started. And now being a trauma-informed breathwork guide, I actually draw back the circle to where it started for me personally on my journey. So a couple of years ago, I think it's now 6 years, 5-6 years ago, I really felt I couldn't breathe anymore. It was like I bottled up all my emotions, myself, so to say, for way too long. And through traumatic events, I found my way to the yoga philosophy, and I would say practice also asanas quite often. And all of a sudden I realized why I came to find that practice was because it helped me breathe again, like really breathing properly, and it really opened my breath in so many ways and opened me and cracked me open in so many beautiful ways, that this was my journey, how I found breathwork, So in the end, actually, it came down to breath, always. Movement, breath, returning to the body, soul, to the heart. And yeah, it was where it all has started. The beginning, so to say.
Having come to your breathwork sessions, I can completely relate to that, because the feeling I've had during the session, at the end of the session, honestly, is something that I felt like I needed. I didn't know I needed it, but I walk away thinking I'm glad that I did that, and it made me feel a healthier, a more grounded individual. So it's like you're looking for something, you don't know you're looking for it, and then something just clicks into place during the breathwork session. So I relate to your journey. We've not had the same journey, but definitely just by attending your classes has definitely opened my world to breathwork and the benefits.
So beautiful. And yes,
Um,
actually, what you're saying with the opening the worlds, I think for me, what it comes down to where we are all the same when doing breathwork, breathwork cracks open your heart. It's also in the literal way, like really opening up new pathways and really possibilities within us, without, and the feeling of the floating. This is where I think the opportunities lie for you to feel whatever might come up. It shows you so many different things. So yeah, I'm so happy that you could resonate and that you could open up during the sessions.
Wonderful. So you're not from Kos. You're not like me. I'm
No.
from the UK. You come from a lovely little country called Austria. Um, your background of being from Austria, does that influence your breathwork practice? Or is it more to do with the fact that you like to travel around, you've visit lots of different places? Let me know.
Beautiful question. Actually, never has ever asked me that. So I really have to think about that too. I would say I do not have specifically a connection to Austria per se. It's where I'm born. I'm raised in Vienna. But the thing is, actually, what has always inspired me to go beyond literal borders as well was the feeling of I need more. And actually, it was the opposite. Austria did not inspire me in the way of like exploring my spiritual side or fostering healing methods or practices. Actually, I don't know, it pulled me more towards different countries, because I felt in Austria there was not really what I was looking for, or what my heart needed. Let's put it that way. Also, when I was searching for different healing methods, it's a very, I would say, conservative way of looking at traumas, illnesses, diseases, and stuff like this, So I always wanted to have like more holistic practices to incorporate also into well-being and growth. So I think that was what Austria helped me actually, like really figuring out, oh, I need more. I need to look beyond borders. So actually it was quite the opposite. It did not influence my, I don't know, my style, what I'm holding sessions like now. But actually it helped me find different countries where I could thrive. And that actually also, made me loving Kos so much, loving Greece, because when I eventually arrived here on the island, I felt like, wow, I feel there is this tiny spark more that I aspire to feel in life, and I could really sense immediately when I arrived here the first time on the island, I could really sense a healing energy. I don't know, this might sound weird. I can just explain like this. Walking down the stairs of the plane, I felt like, ooh, there is something going on here.
I can completely resonate with that feeling of Kos. And it's crazy that it comes from such a small Greek island that we suddenly feel like this is the place, this is the connection. So I felt this connection. So I've always holidayed here as a child. And then one day my life was turning upside down. And the only place that I knew that made me feel good was Kos.
Yeah. Yes. That's the thing, the feeling.
Ever since I've moved here 7 years ago, I feel myself. I feel I'm in the right place. And I've lived in lots of different places, travelled around the world. I was in the army before I came here. So it's the only place that makes me feel good. And I believe that Kos has so much in terms of nature.
Yes.
And there's something in the ground that just oozes towards us. The mountains, the forest, the thermal springs, the beaches, the sea. It's all in one little place. And even the people that are not into wellness in the same way that we are have this connection with Kos. The amount of people that come time and time and time again. My grandparents, 35 years they've been coming to Kos. So it's all these. So I completely resonate with why Kos feels like that. And unless you felt it, I don't think you can fully describe it.
I completely resonate with that. And it's so funny what you're saying now and mentioning, asking me the original question, like if Austria has influenced me. Coming back to Kos again, you've mentioned the first thing now, the mountains, the earth, the forests. And actually what I was thriving with and feeling this energy was more the sea. And that's actually something I could never fully resonate in Austria, the mountains. The mountains were not really charging me up from within. I have a lot of water in my astrological chart. So for me, the water was always like the healing property I needed. And when you're saying the feeling you need to feel and you need to experience it, 100% agreed. And for me, it was really every single time I walked into the sea and I left and I walked inside and outside, it felt like, I don't know, I put down some weight, but like some energetic, heavy weight. And every time I came outside of the water, once over and again and again and again, it just, I don't know, it felt lighter. And I think this is the feeling many are drawn to here as well. Maybe they don't notice it, but the island just makes you feel good. And of course, I'm not saying that there is not other places, but I feel especially here, also with the historic background of Kos being like a medicine source and like yes, exactly. Yes, the birthplace, exactly. I feel it's also that
the natural products of Kos to create his medicines.
Yes. So I think you can feel that too. Maybe this is also like the invisible energetic shield here that makes people come back always.
Yeah, no, it's really fascinating. And we'll never have a true answer to why. It is just always going to be that feeling. How do you think this influences your breathwork practice?
I would say actually the first thought of, I could do that, or I want to share this with other people. Actually, the seed was planted here by the sea. My practice now, I'm coming to the island, I think the six years over and over again. So I had countless breathwork sessions myself on the beach. And I think it was really then when I realized, wow, super powerful. And I had visions and just really strong energies pulling me toward the island and also, influencing the urge to share this practice. And I think this was all created here. The seed was planted here. So that's why the island has always a very huge, a huge source of that for me.
Sounds like it's a perfect match, really. It sounds like you were meant to be here and that connection was meant to be made.
Maybe. And wherever I go, actually, I'm always grounding with the thought of coming back here. You know, it's no matter where I travel, no matter where I'm based, it's always here, back recharging and healing. Yes.
Yeah. Well,
I know this sounds so cheesy.
You keep coming back. It doesn't sound cheesy at all. Like for us living
a little
here,
bit.
us that are and the people that are visiting, it's a gift that you want to keep coming back to Kos. So yeah, we're thankful, very thankful. So for the listeners that don't know what breathwork really is, because it gets thrown about lots these days, the word breathwork, but not many people truly understand what breathwork is and what it really does for us. Can you just give us a bit of an explanation about it for us?
Of course. I mean, first of all, there are so many different explanations of breathwork, so many different techniques and styles and whatsoever. But if you really break it down to the point, breathwork is one of the most accessible and most powerful healing methods out there. There is, actually. With different breathing techniques, you can not only change the way you feel physically, but also mentally. So really it has a huge effect on emotions and also to your spiritual side of like the soul body. So with the help of different breathing techniques, There is lots of different techniques, but also the practice of breath holding, so really playing around with breath in general. You can lead to stages of physical, energetical, and emotional and spiritual well-being. That's breathwork. So you have really the entire complexity of the full human experience, let's say. So that's what breathwork is. Yes. For me, that's a very subjective explanation, of course. But if you ask facilitators, they always have different approaches to that. But for me, it's like the holistic way to approach well-being.
So saying that like different facilitators have different meanings, different ways, actually, like my next question was going to be a typical breathwork session, but I know your sessions are not a typical breathwork session, because I am I would say a minor breathwork facilitator, and I do a certain type of breathwork. It's very simple. I do it at the end of my Pilates sessions just to calm everybody down. But it is completely different to what you do in your sessions or the sessions that I've been to. So can you just talk me through, like,
of course,
your sessions?
Of course. So first of all, I loved your Pilates sessions, and I love the way I need to slide this in here at one point, because I love the way how you made people realize how to use their breath during physical exercise, because most of people forget how to breathe actually properly when really physically using the body in different Pilates exercises, obviously. So I loved also the end of your session where you guided us through this like really mellow cool down. So I loved it. But my sessions usually, of course, they look very different because it's also a different intention behind it, I would say. For me, in general, there is like a certain framework that I always use. But I have to say, if I am telling you now this framework, what I've learned over now the last years, this is also, I think, one of the strengths of me that I've found slowly, that I'm really going with the flow with each and every single session, and that my perfectionist side really had to slow down here, because there is no strict framework actually to apply, because it's human experiences, like really profound experiences, and you have to adjust always. So sometimes I am really doing something else, or having this longer, that shorter, or I put something else inside just because it's in the flow. But usually how sessions look like, people are, of course, like arriving in either an indoor space or an outdoor space, maybe on the beach, or really in a nice studio. Then we have a short welcome and arriving. I like to give people enough time to really ground into their spaces, either prepare the space with like a nice yoga mat and pillow and blanket, or I provide that already, but they first of all ground into that space. Then we have a short, I would say, setting the tone, sort of talking through what the intention behind the session is. Then I'm always giving safety instructions, and also explaining the technique that we will be using throughout the sessions. I am a huge fan of conscious connected breath work, but I also love different techniques. But this is something I always explain, or breath hold, stuff like this, on a practical matter, because I really love people to fully let go, but also understand what is happening, sort of like understanding that this is safe, and know they can really fully relax into the experience. Then we have usually a check-in, where I just want to get a feeling of what the group feels like. And if it's like a one-on-one session, this check-in is obviously also a bit longer, that I really understand what we're working with. Then the session is taking place. Sessions are usually looking like this when I guide them through the breath work. We have different breathing rounds according to really nice music, orchestrated perfectly to the intention of the session. We use also different breath hold techniques. And throughout the session, I love to assist a bit with physical touch, consensual touch, to just help them move deeper. May it be tapping or really stretching or opening or really moving the body a bit, because you see sometimes stuff wants to come out through the body. And then the session is slowly coming to an end, and then they have time to integrate. Integration after a session is immensely important. It's really the time where they just get the space to fully land back in the body and to realize what has just happened in a way. Then there is usually also, of course, the gentle wake up. And I love when everyone comes back from their little bubble and then end it with a sharing circle. When everyone is really cracked open, so vulnerable, so beautifully just in tune with their most authentic self. And then most of them share their experience, you know, just showing the others and showing especially yourself that you're not alone. And if it's a one-on-one session, obviously, there's also the sharing and the, you know, the heart connection. Yeah, and that's it. I mean, it's definitely a journey, I would say.
I think having experienced your sessions, the fact that I feel so safe in your sessions, I feel so able to be myself, open my body. I think the first session I did, I was not so much, but then I understood how it was going. By the second session, I was completely my authentic self, and that is my hat off to you, because not many people have that ability to be able to make somebody feel so comfortable, especially around strangers. Like, there's people in the group that I didn't know, but I felt so safe and so at ease and able to open myself. And that is a credit to you as a practitioner, that you have that ability to connect with each individual person in that room on a different basis. You understand that person, you read that person, read their vibes, and know exactly what they want or need, need at that particular time, and you can just create it for them. I know that people cry in your sessions. I go through my process in my mind. There's days where I've been able to completely shut my mind off, which is next to impossible for me. But in your sessions, how you deliver it and how you connect with each person is, well, it is a surreal but such a welcoming experience. It's yeah.
Gilly.
I've never connected to somebody the way that I've connected to you during any kind of session. There's people in my life which I'm drawn to and I fully appreciate, but your breathwork sessions, and I think the first time that I came to your sessions, I didn't really know you very well, but I still felt like I was in a safe space. And I think that's so important, that feeling of being in a safe space.
Oh my God, Gilly, you're making me tearing up. That was not what I was signed up for. No, just kidding. No, thank you for your loving words. Truly, it means a lot. But just know, when you tell me this, you know, it is, first of all, of course, there is different facilitators and different styles and everything. But I truly feel what I aim for in every single session is exactly this. And that's why it makes me so emotional. Because breathwork is such a holy, really in a sense, holy practice for me, because it helped me through so many things. You know, it just elevated my life experience in multiple ways. So what I aim for in really every single session is make people really feel as safe as possible to just experience whatever the breath is showing them, you know. And for me personally, the most important thing that I've learned throughout the years was I can only let go if I feel safe. And this is a completely natural response of the physical body, the emotional body, the soul body, to really open up once you're feeling safe, you know. So thank you so much for your words. I really appreciate that, and I'm super grateful, and so it makes me so happy that you really felt that way, because nothing less I am thriving for. In the end, breath work, yoga, body work, or Pilates, any practices that supports healing and personal growth. In the end, it's sacred spaces. It's safe spaces where you feel the body, where you tune into yourself. So in the end, it's all about the safe spaces to gift, to gift us. So thank you so much. And you were very brave. Let me tell you, very, very brave, because you had no idea about what's going to happen. You just knew, I'm going to do this. And then you just arrived, and without asking a word, you were just like, you were just curious. And that's all I'm asking for when people are joining for the first time. Just stay open, be curious, and just try it out, without any kind of expectations or any pressure.
I'm at that point in my life where I am curious. I've been through a journey myself, and the whole reason why this podcast is happening, why Evexia exists, is because I'm curious about wellness and helping people, helping myself, living a better life for me, and hopefully creating a better life for other people. So I do believe that being open-minded to different things that are going on around us is so important to creating that, better life, more fulfilled, more happy, grounded life. Like using nature and what's within us to help us feel safe and happy and
100%. 100%. Oh my God. And now that you're saying it, nature, I think also coming back to the beginning of the conversation, nature really helped me here on the island to find my way back home, so to say. Coming from Vienna, like a big, big city, all the hustle and the bustle and all the distractions, I needed stillness, and I found that stillness here in nature. So I completely resonate with that. All comes down to nature in the end.
It does. It does. I'm a huge believer in nature is the cure for a lot of things. Just changing a little bit, are there any misconceptions with breathwork that you feel are out there?
This is actually my number one thing. I always reply to that question. Breathwork, thanks to social media and thanks to so many amazing facilitators out there, breathwork has gotten, I would say, more recognition in our generation, because actually breathwork is so ancient. It was around since everything, when you think back, there was always practices of breathwork in life. And I felt when studying different techniques and history, I felt like, wow, we have forgotten a lot. So actually what now? Yes.
You feel like there's a lot of ancient practices coming back.
Yes, exactly.
But
yes, that's the thing. Yes.
Old ways.
So people really, the first misconception for me is always like, people think, whoa, there is this one new thing, breathwork, called breathwork. Have you tried it? It's amazing. But actually it's been around always. Always. We have just forgotten that it is part of humanity in a way. If you look at different countries, different cultures, who we are, yes. So that's the biggest misconception, that it is like a new agey thing. No, it's been here forever, and we are slowly understanding, oh my God, or we are remembering, oh my God, it's been here forever. So that's the first misconception, I would say, that it's a new thing. No, actually we are very arrogant to think it's like a new thing, actually. And the other thing is also, this is something I had many conversations about with different clients and different friends of different healing practices, that breathwork, if you think of breathwork, that you need to have always the craziest outer experience, let's put it that way, say screaming, being completely in in a exorcist state of release and relief and stuff like this. If you see videos on the internet and you're Googling breathwork, for example, you see all the crazy things, you know, like really tough stuff, you know, where people are working through traumatic events, which is amazing. Don't get me wrong. I have done it myself, and I am also regularly practicing this and working through things, and so many beautiful people out there. But the thing is, the biggest misconception is that every single session you experience stuff like this. Now imagine if you have a regular practice and you have these outbursts on a regular basis, you cannot really integrate the experiences properly and work with them, through them, to eventually reprogram yourself, you know. So that's the biggest misconception that I also had with people coming to me and then waking up and they went like, oh, it was not like I was expecting to feel afterwards. I thought it's like where you all have all the shaking and the screaming and stuff, and I didn't feel like this. Or people also went to other sessions, experienced that, and then came to me and said, I was waiting for that urge to scream or the urge to do this and that, but it never came. And then they went very harsh on themselves, and like they expected, or they work towards something. And this is also a misconception, I would say, very tricky one, because you put expectations and pressure on yourself on what you think it should look like having a breathwork experience. And this is something I'm very passionate about, because every single human being, every single person practicing breathwork in different settings has different experiences. There is just not one reaction to it, or one. Yes.
Have expectations. Don't have expectations.
Yes.
Every breathwork session is going to be something different, because
exactly.
imagine it's like, if you're at a different time of your life than you were 2 weeks ago, something could have happened in 2 weeks, something could have happened in a year. So therefore your experience of something is going to be very different. Yeah.
Exactly. And also different styles, different techniques, different space holders, different circumstances. You know, everything makes every single session super unique. And this is the power of breathwork. This is actually the magical thing, that there is the whole spectrum of feelings, of reactions, of like a new universe within yourself, you know. And this is something I would love people to really know, to stay curious, stay open-minded, and not fall into this belief of there is only one way breathwork looks like, you know, eventually for you.
Yeah. So we're going to get into exciting things about what you're going to be doing with Evexia this summer, which we're so excited for. So you're going to be our breathwork practitioner on our Pilates and breathwork retreat, which is happening on the 6th to the 13th of September at Sales on Kos, which is a fantastic nature-filled glamping site in the countryside of Kos. We decided to put Pilates and breathwork together because I believe that they can complement each other so much, and we wanted a nice nature-filled retreat, something new for the island. So tell us about what our participants, our guests, are going to expect from your breathwork sessions during our retreat.
Oh, I am so excited. You have no idea. Okay, what is in there for them? I would say there is 3 main pillars that I will really curate the breathwork sessions around. So the first pillar is definitely teachings in the way of insights, gaining insights. It should not only be a breathwork and Pilates retreat where you leave and you forget everything, but really a retreat where you gain so much that you can also implement it through in day-to-day life. So the first pillar in the sessions will definitely be insights and learnings. For example, proper breath, or the perfect breath. How you can influence performance with breathing and stuff like this. It's the first pillar. The second pillar obviously is a huge one, is well-being, but really well-being in the sense of being, that you're just feeling into the body, into the physical vessel, the emotional body, and also your spiritual side, your soul, so to say, to really feel good, to really just arrive at that point to not only feel okay, but really use breathwork to feel better. not in the way that something is wrong with you, but to see, whoa, breath has huge potential to help you create a better life for you, to feel better. That's the second pillar, the well-being aspect, obviously. And the third pillar will be definitely connection. Connection is a very broad word, but connection in the way of connecting to your breath, to your inner source, to your most authentic self, but then eventually also maybe being cracked open and opening up to your spiritual side. And this eventually leads to connection also to the others, to the group, and maybe to the relationships in your life. So these are the three pillars: learning, well-being, and connection.
Wow, it sounds amazing. The more I talk to you about this retreat and the breath work and everything else that's going to go on it, I actually want to be
Maybe
part of the retreat,
goosebumps.
not hosting the retreat. I'd love to be like just submerged into the whole thing, yeah, rather than having to organize what everybody's doing, where people want to be. So yeah, I'm a little bit jealous of my guests, which are going to be coming on the retreat. um, how do you think that the Pilates and breathwork together is going to enhance the experience? Do you have an opinion on this?
Yes, amazing. That's also why I was not asking any questions when you asked me if I want to join. My first response was yes, because I see a huge benefit for the participants. Obviously, because that's why one of the pillars during the retreat will be learning and teachings and insights, because I want people to understand the connection of physical performance and recovery with breath, and then they can immediately apply it to the Pilates sessions.
Yeah, but I just
Yes, that's a short answer. That's
yeah,
it. A
yeah.
huge
It
benefit.
doesn't need a long answer though. I don't think it needs a long answer. It just yeah, two amazing things coming together to create an incredible experience on a wonderful island in a fantastic location. Um, we're not going to keep talking about the retreat because I could talk all day about
Me
Evexia
too.
retreats and what we're doing. It's my life. I'm so passionate about it. But so what we'll talk about is what are your future aspirations as a breathwork facilitator, as a person?
Oh, before I would go into that, may I ask you a question too?
Yes.
How how did you how did you build this amazing community on the island? Because now that you're saying this is what you were drawn to, I wanted to ask it for so long, but now actually the moving on to the aspirations, and this was why you have started retreats and stuff like this. I would love to know that, because you are such a community builder. You're the glue to so many people on the island. You're bringing together so many different ages, so many different people from all parts of the island. Me now coming from Austria and coming back and forth and traveling a lot. But how did you manage to
Honestly, that means a lot
build
that you
that?
said that to me because I think all it comes down to is truly believing in what I'm doing. I truly believe that my Pilates, my fitness, my retreats are helping people, and I want to be there to help people and help people feel as good as they are. I started off by just teaching a few expats in a little location, and I was confident enough to go out and ask for a job teaching, and people that I knew, I started to build a network, and then other people started to ask me, well, do you want to come and teach here? Do you want to do this? And then it just built slowly over time. Like, I can't say that I came here and thinking that I was going to create what I've created now. It's just evolution of getting
Oh
to
yeah.
know people, believing in what I do, and listening to people, listening to what other people want and what people need, and just go in with this. Um, some of the ideas that I've got have not been essentially my ideas. They've been other people's suggestions, and I've gone, well, yeah, I see that could be amazing for people. So yeah, it's just getting to know people and believing in what you're doing. I shout about you to everybody. So anybody that says to me that they're feeling stressed or they've got things going on, I was like, you need to go to Isabel's breathwork sessions. So and that's how it's going to work. You're going to build your own community
Mm.
by people that believe in you and you believe in yourself. It will
So
naturally come.
beautiful. Oh my God, so beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing. It's, yeah, very inspiring, I have to say.
And we're part of the
Um,
same community. So if
yes,
I'm going to do great things, you're going to do great things, and vice versa. Because if you can build up this community and you're inviting the right people into the community, it's only going to get better.
yes.
It's,
And actually, what you're saying about that aspect of people coming together and believing in you and really feeling into that, what you're really not only preaching, but what you're practicing and offering these spaces for people to experience them really themselves, experience the full spectrum of well-being, let's say, and healing. Oh my God, that's, I think, where the magic lies. And then what you're
yeah,
saying about people believing in you and spreading the word and really people coming together, doing what they love together, with just compassion and an open mind is just, it's all I
I
live
wake up,
for. Seriously, this is
I wake up
this is
every
what it
day
makes
with
so beautiful.
gratitude for what I've got here, honestly. And I
Mm,
think that's a big part of it. Like,
yeah.
I am so grateful for the community of people around me and the fact that people
Yes.
want to learn from me and people like me being part of their life. And I've managed to make friends with people like yourself. Gratitude. I walk my dog every
Mm.
day and I go down by the salt lake in Tagaki and I just feel so grateful of my current life.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And
Gratitude. Yeah.
yeah.
And that's, yeah. That's also actually a beautiful bridge to your previous question, what my aspiration for the future is. I had to wrap my head around that quite often now because I am traveling a lot. I'm actually not based anywhere. I am really traveling through Europe and this year probably also Asia. Um, but coming from Austria, I was craving that community. And luckily, there is so many different options now in Austria, and especially in Vienna, where you can go to and have that sense of community. That's the safe spaces to practice anything that you long for. And my aspiration is really to creating that community in the online world, actually. Because I know so many people here coming to my classes or also people in different parts of the world that I have the sense of losing that connection in a way because I have not created any digital platform yet, And I think this is like my real future aspiration, bringing people together from all parts of the world through the magic of breathwork and different wellness practices and healing methods in the online space. And this is something I also have. It's like a huge, huge part also, to be honest, a huge part of my personal healing journey, my personal reprogramming of self, because creating a space like this means also you have to show up, obviously, in these spaces, being out there and show yourself. And I've really learned to connect to my authentic self. But I think this year, my aspiration is also to put that authentic self out there in the online world, Just, being out
Just
there and
remember
bringing
that
people
you've got a
together.
network of people, a great group of people that are your biggest
Mm.
cheerleaders. So
Oh, don't make me
you don't
cry
need to
again.
do much.
Yeah.
Like people are gonna shout from the rooftops how amazing Isabel is, and everybody should be doing her breathwork
No.
session.
Oh my
So
God,
you're
no.
gonna
This is not
start
what I thrive for,
small.
obviously.
You,
No, but I want to have the spaces and not lose the sense of the connection of those physical spaces. And by the way, something I need to say here, these spaces actually, it was through online yoga, online breathwork, where I have navigated my way through these practices. So these spaces in the comforts of your home, having really guides and digital platforms or digital spaces, they are so underrated these days, I feel, but like also scientifically proven spaces, like, not only
yeah,
people that come together doing this from home and then you leave them again doing what they think they're doing. No, but taking them by the hand and showing them how they can implement it at home too. And that's what I really want to create, obviously. Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, I'm looking forward to what you do create and being a part of your journey with it. For
Thank you,
anybody
Gilly.
that's looking to start a breath or join a breathwork session, they're curious about joining a breathwork session. What kind of advice would you give to them?
That's a good one. It says a lot about a person if they want to try it or if they want to incorporate in day-to-day life. So the first advice would be understand why the urge or where the urge comes from. Where is the source? What is your intention with it? Because it shows a lot, so much about your healing journey, I would say. That's the first thing I would always tell people. Ask yourself why you want to start, what you're thriving not only to achieve, but what are you thriving to explore. That's the first thing. And secondly, I would say there is so many beautiful offers out there, no matter in the physical world or in the digital world. Just look for your tribe. Look for your people that inspire you. You need to resonate. When you're opening up to the world of breathwork and breathwork practices, you need to feel safe, seen, heard, held. Have I said held? Yeah, held is very important if I said it twice now. And this is, I think, the most important thing to be held by people that make you feel that way, you know, where it's for you safe to open up and to explore self and to have that container. So that's what I would suggest. Ask yourself why, what is the intention behind it, and find your tribe, find the people. And then please implement it in day-to-day life, because it doesn't need to be always a big fuzz, but breathing and having a moment of like 3 minutes in day-to-day life will change your world.
Amazing. So I've got one last question for you. Can you share one of the most profound moments you've witnessed or experienced through breathwork? Is that possible?
Yes. That's a tough one.
Personal question. It's a personal question.
Yeah, this is a very tough one actually, because there is so many answers to that. But the most profound one, I would say, is truly very personal, obviously. But I've mentioned the way. I've mentioned why I found my way to breathwork, right? And that traumatic events have happened that led me to me really looking for safe spaces to feel, to breathe, to finally breathe. And I would say the most profound experience with breathwork was that it facilitated me in a huge ceremonial breathwork. It facilitated me, or it helped me work through generational trauma in a way. Trauma that I was working through in talk therapy for, I would say, 4.5 years. And I reached a point where I said therapy helped me to navigate life again and to understand and to start digging into these areas. But I've reached a point where I understood there is more. There is not only my logical mind working through the trauma, but it is my body. It is my body. The body holds the score. It is also my soul's body, and even deeper now, beyond I would say the trauma body, I felt there was also energetic bonds that I could not really describe, but I felt really, really heavy energies holding me back, having like really a huge impact on my life that I couldn't talk my way through or meditated my way through, but I really needed a huge clearing in a way. It sounds super, odd maybe, but it helped me clear energetic bonds through, generational trauma, which was definitely the most profound experience in my life, because the next day, just think about that, like it was so profound that the next day I felt finally the weight of the world on my shoulders, it was gone. It was just gone. But I'm not saying that one session, I'm not saying that one session will do the trick, but I was really working almost each and every day on specific things I wanted to work on in my healing journey, you know. But the profound session was for sure. Fun fact, that was the session from our dear facilitator training by Mind Date, where I've done the training. It was the last session. It was the the final session, so to say. And it was called it was it was the rebirthing breathwork session, ending the cycle of becoming a facilitator, and actually it birthed me in so many ways. It sounds really a bit confusing, because it's, I think, things you're integrating, I will be integrating for a very long time still. It has happened 1.5 years ago, and there is really things coming up still, but the energetic bond is just gone. And this is something people underestimate, I think, because you can work on yourself tirelessly. You can be, the best version of yourself. You can, you can live well-being in every single part of your life. And this is amazing. This is beautiful. But at the end of the day, if there is something underlying, really a sense of feeling that something you cannot explain with words, something is holding you back, or something is pushing you, like the feeling of pushing you underneath water, then you have to dig. Then there is something else that you do not have the power to control in day-to-day life, So that was my profound experience, very personal.
Incredible, absolutely incredible. Well, we're going to finish for today, and I cannot thank you enough for being an amazing guest today.
Thank you, Gilly.
I'm incredibly grateful for you to do this podcast with me, for being part of my life, and just being a wonderful human being. So thank you so much. For anybody that's interested in Isabel's work with breathwork, she has an Instagram, Floating Within. So go onto Instagram, connect with her, find out all the amazing things that she's doing. Come and join us on a retreat. We would absolutely love that if you come and met both of us on one of our retreats. If you like listening to our podcasts and you want to listen to further from the Evexia Effect, just subscribe for us and you can listen to all the up and coming podcasts. If you want to know more about Evexia on Kos, you can visit our website, evexia-kos.com, or you can get us on social media, Evexia Kos. So we are out there where everybody here is looking to help you be the best version that you can be, and we're so excited that you're part of our community now. So thank you so much. And Isabel, again, thank you.
Thank you, Gilly, for having me and for that inspirational talk. Thank you.